Hey there, friends. Jeff Fritz here. And after I finished that last video where I showed how I'm creating PDFs using .NET Aspire and Iron PDF, I saw that they have a new service that they just released that works in Docker and allows us to redact, certify, and password encrypt our PDFs, something they call IronSecureDoc. So I started taking a look there and seeing if we could do the exact same thing we just did with Iron PDF to secure our documents. Let me show you what I found. So here's the website for IronSecureDoc. It's a new enterprise-grade service that the folks at Iron PDF have made available to help make it a little bit easier to redact, encrypt sensitive data, certify PDF documents, these types of things that enterprises do a lot of and pay a lot of money to software as a service companies to be able to do these types of things with their PDFs. So they've got a Docker container available that will help you host and take care of these types of interactions for your PDFs using a very cool C# based client that you can work with. So I went and grabbed that Docker container image and tried out getting it to work with .NET Aspire using the same techniques we used for Iron PDF. And I was pleasantly surprised with how easy it was to add some information, to add some capabilities so that I can redact data, client-side sign my PDFs, and deliver password encrypted PDFs coming out of Aspirify.net. Let me show you what we've got over here. So here, inside of my code for .NET Aspire, I've got a new resource that I allocated. I previously created this resource, the Iron Engine resource, that would set up an Iron PDF Docker container for me. So I've got another one that I'll set up that'll do all those security functions for my PDFs. Okay, looks very similar. I've got an HTTP endpoint, just like I did before. I've got a connection string expression that will deliver that location, that address for where my container is living and running. I then have some extensions down here that will allow me to define and use that IronSecureDoc. And it's real easy to do with the tooling in .NET Aspire. I'm going to go grab that Docker container, Iron Software Officials, IronSecureDoc image. Give me the latest version. Let's map ports to port 8080, you can see there. Use HTTP connections for that. And I've got some environment variables that I'll pass in. Whether it's running here locally, we'll have it call it development environment. Otherwise, it's the production environment. We're going to map port 8080 and set up and pass in our license key from a parameter that's managed inside of our .NET Aspire system. Cool. So inside my app host project, I can very easily configure and add that Iron Secure engine by calling add IronSecureDoc, the name of my resource, I'll call it Secure Engine, and I'll pass in my key appropriately so that I can use that service. Fantastic. Let me head over to the dashboard and set up a button so that I can start to secure some of my documents. So up top here, you see I have those Manage Articles, Export as Excel buttons. I added Export as PDF. Well, I'm going to add another one, Export as Secured PDF, so that I can take appropriate action to redact or change my document. And I'll do the same thing I did before. Let's generate a PDF for the URL, and I'll put a title on it of Aspirify.net dashboard. And I'll redact some text from the PDF. Let's redact everywhere it says the word keycloak inside our dashboard that we're going to turn into a PDF. Well, inside my PDF generator class, I'm able to write a pretty simple method that will do that redacting for me. Check it out here. So I've got some logging and some activities here for my telemetry, just like we did before. I'm going to create an IronSecureDoc client and point it to that connection string that was passed into my website. We called it Secure Engine, so there I'm getting the connection string to connect to the Secure Engine resource. I'll try to connect to it. If we have a problem, let's log and throw an error appropriately. And I'm going to get a file on disk to write that PDF to. Just a temporary file, doesn't matter. Because we need a real file on disk in order to redact content from it. And I'll call right here, client redact text async. And I'll pass in the array of terms that we want to redact from our document, as well as that temp file. If there's an error, log the error, make sure that we mark that in our telemetry, throw it appropriately, make sure we delete that temporary file from disk. And if we did get something coming back, well, return that as a stream back to our user. Let's take a look and see what this looks like. So here you can see there's my secure engine running along with all my other resources to help run this website system locally here. I'll go through to the website, and I'm already logged in on my admin page. And there we can see that dashboard again. And down here, my export as secured PDF link. I'll click that. And now I can see my document, my dashboard, and check out right there. You can see where there's a mention of Keycloak that's been redacted. It's been replaced with black squares so that you can't see what it's referencing inside my PDF. It went and found it inside a block of text that was actually originally generated using a Telerik Blazor chart component and hiding it appropriately. Really cool capabilities with that redact feature. But redacting things is one part of securing my documents. I want to make sure that when folks get a document that's been generated from the AspireFi.net website, they know that that document was generated by AspireFi. It's got a certificate attached that came from AspireFi so that you know it's authentic. Well, we can do that with a certificate. And there's a way for us as developers to get certificates to tinker with and work with locally. I'm going to use selfsigned.org to generate a simple certificate that I can download and use and install in my system to sign and work with my PDFs. I've already done that. I've got it saved to disk. Over here in Visual Studio, you can see there's my PDF generator. And just up here, there's AspireFi.net PFX. That's a certificate that's saved locally that I can use to sign my documents. So, back here in my dashboard, not only can I secure it by saying redact text, but let's take that same PDF now, and let's push it back through the PDF generator, and let's say certify it, and we'll pass in our PDF to work with. Let me show you what the certify process looks like. So this is a very similar structure to what we did with redact and with generating our PDFs. I do a bunch of telemetry up at the top, make sure that I can connect to my IronSecureDoc client, and then I go create my file stream that is the PDF, save that to a temporary file on disk, but then I go and grab that PFX file. Go grab that certificate that I have on disk and put that location together with the root path where our application actually is running. I'll call client certify async. I'll pass in my PDF file as well as the location of my certificate. Now those selfsigned.org certificates have a really complex password. It's password. So I'll pass in the password for my certificate right here. So sophisticated and high-tech secure. It's for development purposes, so I don't mind that here locally. When I go to run this in my production space, I'm going to have to figure out how to read in and load and set a more enterprise-grade password to authenticate for my certificate. Finally, check for errors, make sure we log appropriately, clean up that temp file when we're done, and write it back out as a memory stream. It's the exact same thing. So easy to do. It's very similar to what we did before. Let's head back over to the dashboard and see what it looks like when we start to put a certificate signature onto our documents. All right, so there we go. There's my PDF. You can see all the content in there with my little redaction. And there's an interesting note here. This document is digitally signed. Some signatures cannot be verified. Yeah, it's our little test certificate. And when I view signatures, there it's signed by aspirify.net. You couldn't verify it. Yeah, it's my test signature, right? If I used a real certificate that was generated from an authority, then it would appear and show that it was a fully authorized document that came from aspirify.net. Really cool to see that now I've got a little bit of authentication, a little bit of gravitas in my document because it's been signed by the website that generated it, and you know that nobody has tinkered with it. What if I need to take one final step and really protect this? I can encrypt and password protect the document. Well, it looks like IronSecureDoc has similar features there to help us out. Let's go back over to the code and take a look at how we can do that. So back over here, I had called Certify PDF. Well, signing is one thing. Password encrypting completely constrains who can get in and take a look at what's actually in there. So I don't really need to certify it. I can go all the way to encrypting that PDF, pass in the stream that PDF was generated from, and the password. What's the password we want to assign to this? Well, let's make it Fritz is great. Right? That's very secure here. So I'll save that, and let me show you what the encrypt PDF method looks like. This structure should look pretty similar at this point. I could probably extract some of these capabilities into a common method and make it really easy here, because I do, once again, all the same type of telemetry setup right up top, getting us connected out to the engine container that we have written out there. We'll write the PDF file to disk, and then I'm going to set up here an owner password when I go to encrypt, and I'll pass in the password that was submitted into this method to assign as a user password to get into this. Now, the owner password controls who can actually edit the document, and you can see my highly secure elite password that I put in there, right? And my password that is attached there for users to be able to access this document. Same type of error logging, clean up the file when we're done, and if we've completed the encryption, log that, put some telemetry out there that we've completed, and return the document. Let's give it another try and see what happens. Wait a second, look at this. Enter the password to be able to open this PDF file. Now we're talking. So I'll key in my highly secure password there. Fritz is great. And boom, I can get in. I can see my document now. Really cool stuff. It was easy for me to set up with just a few methods that I already had some idea of how to write that enables .NET Aspire to manage and drive and control the same Docker resources out there. So I get this cool enterprise-grade feature. I can add it into my applications easily with a client that's available out there on NuGet, a Docker container that's available on the Docker Hub, get my hands on a license key. Those are free and easy to get from the Iron Software website. There's a free trial available if I want to do that, and there's actually a support bubble that's appearing down here in the corner with some folks that are ready to help out. Should you have any questions, should you want to work through, of course, there's a little bit of AI, a chatbot here that's going to help you out, but as soon as you hit something that's a little bit more complex, it'll route you to some real support folks to get help. Great stuff that's available for anybody to be able to learn and do more with PDFs from the folks at Iron Software. Big thanks to them for showing me their new feature here, their new product that we could use and add into Aspirify.net and give it a try and learn a little bit about how we can extend .NET Aspire resources to take advantage of some of these products, tools, and solutions that other folks have built, make it easier for us to code, reuse, and consume those products in a great way. If you like this video and you want to see more videos with me putting together various pieces of tools and projects across the .NET ecosystem, drop me a line down below in the comments. Make sure you click that subscription button, click that bell to be notified of future videos that we're putting together here on the channel. All right? Thanks so much for watching.